Today, we're going to dig into a really simple moment, one you've probably seen 100 times, a reader and their book. But what we're looking at is actually a paradox, one that kind of unlocks a hidden truth about how we learn and what really truly motivates us.
I mean, we've all seen this, right? A kid is just completely lost in a book, hasn't moved for hours. The only problem, it's a comic book. And that little voice kicks in, that well-meaning instinct to say, hey, let's guide them towards something a little more serious.
But here's the question. What if that gut instinct is just wrong? Completely wrong. What if, when we try to help, we're actually smashing the very engine of learning itself? Yep, that's the paradox we're diving into today. Okay, so let's tackle the first piece of this puzzle, the control trap. This is where we look at the two big competing forces that are always at play when it comes to any kind of long-term achievement. This slide really just lays it all out. On the left, you've got external control. This is the world of rewards, punishments, grades, and just being told what to do. And hey, it can get you a result, and fast. But then on the right, you have intrinsic motivation. This is the stuff that's powered by genuine choice, real curiosity. It's a slow burn, but it's the only one that's actually built to last. So here's the crucial thing to get. All that external pressure, it's a short-term fix, but it comes with some serious long-term costs. It's just not sustainable, right? Because the second that reward or punishment goes away, so does the behavior. It completely eliminates ownership. It turns something that could be a passion into just another chore. And, eventually it leads to one of two places, burnout or just complete avoidance. Okay, so if forcing a real book is a bad move, what about the comic book itself? Is it just a waste of time? Well, the answer is a hard no. In fact, it's actually the secret solution to the whole problem. We really have to challenge this old idea that comics are somehow less than real books. They are so much more than just entertainment. As you can see here, they are incredibly sophisticated tools for building the cognitive muscles we need for every other kind of reading. Just look at what's really going on inside a kid's brain when they're reading a comic. It's a full-on workout. They're learning to track why characters do what they do, they're understanding cause and effect, and they're making smart guesses based on context. And that last one, contextual inference, that's the skill that lets you read between the lines in an email from your boss, or understand what's not being said in a business meeting. These are not basic skills. They are the absolute bedrock of advanced literacy. So if the goal isn't to force a switch from comics to classics, then how do we encourage it? The answer is this brilliant strategy that's all about environmental design. You don't manage the person, you manage the world they're in. It's called the long-stay library effect. And the theory behind it is just beautifully simple. If you put a learner in an environment with plenty of choices, no major distractions, and you give them enough time, their own curiosity will eventually push them to level up. Learning becomes a natural reaction, not something you have to force. And here are the 4 key ingredients you need. You need plenty of time because you need enough time for boredom to actually set in. Boredom is the mother of curiosity, after all. You need a consistent, safe space. You have to give them total 100% choice over what they read. And finally, you've got to remove the easier, more potent stimuli, like phones or TV. Now, when you have these conditions, something really cool happens. It's called the ceiling effect. A reader will eventually just run out of comics. Think about it like beating every level of a video game. You've mastered it. Now you crave a deeper story, a harder challenge, a whole new world. And because you want it, you reach for that next thing. That voluntary reach, that's where the real learning kicks in. And this brings us to the final, and honestly, the most important part of all of this. What's your role in this whole process? Well, it's going to require a fundamental shift in how you see your job, whether you're a parent, a teacher, or a mentor. First, let's just be crystal clear about what not to do. Every single one of these actions is a form of external control, and it will absolutely poison intrinsic motivation. Don't force a specific book. Don't micromanage how much they read. Please don't compare them to anyone else, and for the love of all that is holy, do not set up rewards for reading. It turns a joy into a job. So what's left? What's your real job? It's this, your one true role. You are not a manager. You are not a controller. You are an environment architect. Your entire job is to design the space where curiosity can just flourish on its own. Now, being an architect doesn't mean you do nothing at all. It just means your moves are subtle and they always respect the learner's freedom. So you can provide information. Hey, I saw this book exists, thought it looked cool. You could share possibilities. Based on all the stuff you've been reading, I bet you could totally handle this now. Or you can simply offer visibility, just leaving interesting new books out where they can be discovered. The decision always stays with them.
This quote right here just perfectly nails the whole philosophy. Stop trying to force the action. Instead, focus all your energy on building the runway. Your job isn't to be the pilot forcing the plane into the air. It's to build the airfield where they can choose to take off whenever they're ready.
Which brings us to our final critical question. When you strip everything else away, when you boil it all down, what is the one element that this entire model totally depends on for success? And there it is. Real, meaningful, lasting growth. It doesn't come from discipline or motivation or even raw talent. It comes from choice. And true, genuine choice can only exist in an environment that is completely free from control. So trust the process, trust the reader. And yeah, let them read the comics.